Hello, everybody, and welcome back
to the docks.
Thank you.
Okay, so the other three locations you have is the dwarven place, the bear's place, which you don't know what that is.
Right.
Where's that damn button? There you are. Bam. Save.
I guess we would get in the sky cart.
There's also the warehouse, and then there's
Well, the warehouse is at the docks, right?
It's yeah, well, it's
Nearby.
very nearby. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going
I
to
think we
say-
go there first, right?
Well, I'm gonna say to the. We don't know where the bear's then in. I'm gonna say to the driver who's very enthused with the amount of money we spent. I'm gonna say, "Have you heard of the bear's den?"
No, I have not heard of the Bear's Den. No, is it a good place?
I'll just kind of shrug. Not sure, never been, but we're headed to. And I look at the rest of the group. The docks, or
The storage warehouse is outside.
The Cracked Barrel.
The Cracked Barrel.
Oh yeah, I can get you there. It's near the docks, not quite at the docks, but I can get you there.
sure thing.
Certainly a lot better than where we are. Did you get what you needed? And he's looking at the thing that Stalwart was shaking as he walked back to the sky cart.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we did.
I'm just whatever it is, keep it away.
Scott, you know, as a DM, when the party starts getting access to bombs,
Bad things
It's a
happen.
dangerous road. We have a bomb salesman now.
You
you know.
gave us a bomb salesman.
So moving on, you guys start. He starts flying you off and towards the Cracked Barrel as quickly as he possibly can. So they make their way. You make it all the way to the Cracked Barrel. It is a large warehouse, and there's a whole bunch of workers. Like you can see them walking away as you finish the trip over there. As you're at the very tail end of the trip, you see a bunch of people kind of like walking away from this area in general. But as you actually get to that location, you can see that it's rather quiet. There's nobody outside of it. The doors are all like just like a quick survey from where you are. They all seem to be shut. One of them's kind of open. There's a bit of light inside there, but it looks like maybe people just got off shift recently. So, go ahead. I'm upset because I ran out of ice cream because my wonderful wife brought me a sundae. She went out and got one real quick, but I still have salad left. So I
And
guess...
you've had your dessert already.
Well, she handed me frozen ice cream, and
You can't go and have your salad
can't
after
start-
ice cream.
no,
That's
No,
horrible.
stop it.
so
Stop it.
No,
no.
Don't eat that tomato. No.
Bad.
You chaotic evil bastard.
So, I'm sorry, Scott. Is this like a
Warehouse, right?
a warehouse or?
Yes.
I'm
Warehouse.
assuming it's like
Okay.
one of those places where you can hire storage space.
So yeah, when we get
Okay.
here,
Right.
I'm just
It's
gonna be
got a
like
name.
Stalbor. I'm just gonna ask like why. I understand this was on the list, but what can we even find here? It's a large warehouse. There could be many things. We don't know what we're looking for.
Looking for someone shady who's put something here incredibly recently that shakes. This would be the perfect place to blow up things.
I am going
Store stuff at
to
the very
attempt to
least.
ask around, Scott, and see if anything has come off of or going into the Dragon's Teeth.
So you
Yes.
so you're gonna start like asking around. So it takes you a couple minutes before you actually get your hands on somebody while they're kind of like still standing next to the sky cart, standing there talking about what to do. Right there, maybe they choose to do something else while I take care of you. But you go walking around, and it's kind of like, finally you there. Hold up. And when you finally find somebody, you go catching up to them, and you know Odette, so you can't get there quickly. And when you finally get your way there. You ask, has anything gone off? And the person's like, why are you asking?
I would just introduce myself. I am Karen Delarendar. I'm concerned about.
Oh, sorry.
Thank
Yeah, your ship. Yeah, they just finished.
Finished what? Loading it?
Yeah, we took the cargo off. We resupplied the ship. It's good to go.
What exactly did you resupply it with? Do you happen to know?
The whatever was in the warehouse, everything's marked with color coded marking for what's supposed to go where. It was the purple marking, so everything that was purple we put in there. I saw a bunch of fruits. I can certainly smell some spices, and there was this nice pink salt that I got to see, which is wonderful. And I know it's like all the craze right now with the people that have the money to spend, and tons of avocados. Tons of avocados.
Naming hipster food.
So Karen just gets like a sinking pit in the like just the pit of her stomach, and she thanks the man, and she will turn back to the party, and just say, "We have to get to the docks now."
You heard us drive. You heard the woman driver. Tap tap.
So were you guys doing anything while she was off doing that? Because she was gone for a couple of minutes.
She's gone for a couple of minutes. How close to the actual warehouse are we?
You're landed like pretty much.
You're outside it. It's just big.
Okay. I wouldn't do anything. I'd wait for her to come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be looking, but not actually doing anything.
Yeah, like not searching for anything, just looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She comes back. She has those things. You guys hop back in the cart and get going. Reich is just very unhappy with the situation. Like, there's no plan here, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly and sulk. There's no plan, so I'm not gonna partake.
Trying to make a plan. Exactly.
No, I'm not pouting. I'm making a plan.
Okay, so listen, guys. The only system of vetting they have for what goes onto the ship is a color-coordinated like system. So whatever was painted, purple or was stripped purple, that's what was put onto the boat.
So we're looking for.
I'll nod to that and say, because we're on the way to the ship, I'll say, well, we should keep our eyes out for anything obviously mismarked, but also, perhaps detecting magic on the ship. There could be something hidden into those crates.
That's what I was thinking. Kieran.
Yeah, detect magic on the giant flying
This isn't magic.
ship.
This is science.
Kieran.
No, I'm talking about we go into the flying ship.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
The gunpowder isn't magic. It's science.
It's
I
science.
mean, would this flick off detect magic or anything? Or don't I know?
It would not, because there's no magic involved in something like
Exactly.
that.
It's just.
It's alchemy is probably what you would think of it as, or something like that. Well, you could say science, but you don't have the modern
It's an
day
Elvish
perspective.
word.
Yeah.
Also, it's probably not the only means of like checking the cargo, but something could have easily gone. Is what I meant to say. But yeah, so we have to get there now.
Yeah, we go there now.
Okay.
Yeah, would you know what this ship looks like from afar?
Yeah.
Assuming that we're going to a dock, which probably has quite a few airships just sort of hanging around, right?
Would I, Scott?
The dock doesn't necessarily have quite a few airships hanging around. Usually it only service anywhere between 1 to 4 at a time. Even 4 is that is their limit.
Busy
That's
day. Rush.
And that's at a time, you know what I mean? So, and they only stay for a very short period of time because they have places to go, and it's all about speed of transit, right? Maybe something like a luxury liner would sit and stay here for a while if people intend to, let's enjoy the wonderful views of Sharn and go to the Skyway while we're waiting for the restocking or whatever, right? So you guys are making way to the docks, but where it is in the docks, you're trying to find out. Did you have written down, Stalbor, where it is that you're supposed to be going?
Just that it's going to be on the docks. Don't know which
I didn't tell you exactly what it was.
Yeah.
He more or less told you a region of the docks, and so
I'm sure.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would have pointed out.
So you do exactly that. You start heading over towards the region that he told you about, and once you get there, it is make me a perception check as you guys are approaching.
Just Stalbor?
Nope. All of you guys can do it. I would say you two get advantage. Luca gets disadvantage. You two are fine.
Luca gets
Luca's is nighttime.
Yeah.
Perception.
You say you
Well, I am
two, do I
imagining
not
these
get?
airships have,
Do I
guidance.
not get?
Oh, nice.
You get
not worried.
you get a normal roll.
I'm not worried.
Nicely done.
That's what he's looking for.
Couple of 17s.
Okay, that was a beautiful
Jeez.
one, Reich. Thank you for participating in the party. That's your
Good thing I have disadvantage.
that's
huh?
your StarCraft penalty right there. So you have a perception of 8 of 4, double 20s on a disadvantage, which
20/20
is
vision.
friggin' amazing.
Oh!
That was too good. I liked it.
Perfect.
That's absolutely amazing right there. And perception of 3 with a natty 1. So none of you guys can see anything, and I have a reason why this would make sense. None of you guys could see anything because You guys are going off and you're looking for stuff and trying to see it, switching back and forth between your dark vision and your regular vision or whatever. And so it's kind of like throwing your eyes off. However, Luca is able to see something off into the dark because all he can see is the dark. And what he's able to see is a large light in the sky moving. And it's quite a distance away.
I would probably try to point it out to them and say, I believe that could be where the ship, maybe it's leaving.
You guys finish
Is it
making your way
moving?
to the dock, and as you are approaching the dock, because you weren't sure if maybe it was just sitting there, but once you finally get to the dock, you can tell it has in fact left the dock. And
How far? Jeez.
it's
How far away is it?
It's heading south.
Okay.
Well, this ruins my plan.
Heading
Why would we
south.
need to go south?
How far away, like, from us is it?
A considerable distance. I mean, it's up in
Okay.
the sky and away.
Yeah.
But the simple fact of the matter is, when an airship starts moving, I mean, it's not like it always hits maximum speed. It's supposed to be a cruise liner. It's slower moving, stuff like that, but still very fast. When that thing's going, there are a few things that can catch up with it. Another airship, teleportation magics, water galleons can get it done, as long as it stays over the ocean. Things like that are all options. But while it is an airship flying, those things can move at incredible speeds. A lightning rail can actually do it too. A lightning rail actually, I believe, travels faster, but only for short stretches of straightaways. As soon as it starts hitting turns and whatnot, it slows way down, and lightning rails make way more stops, and they go up hills and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, there are a few things that can actually travel as fast as an airship.
So, are
Here's the
there
plan,
other
wait.
airships in this port?
So
Wait a minute.
you look up trying to find other airships in the port, and you can see that there are in fact 0 airships at the skyport that you have here. Immediately, like kind of like there's this thing comes to a stop, and you guys like hopping on the thing, like, oh shit, how do we get to this thing? What's going on? However it is that you're reacting, feel free to RP in a second. Roll me perception checks, everybody, and RP as you're doing it. Go ahead.
Perception disadvantage?
For you, please.
Listen, there
Luca,
must
you
be
need to
somebody at
flash
the
your
docks.
badge. Yeah.
My badge?
Flash your badge to the guards. They probably have a way of signaling ships.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
listen,
guard.
we need to talk to somebody who works at the docks.
Badge.
I don't have a badge.
We don't need a
Nico,
badge.
Does your house have a
We
badge?
don't need a
Your
badge.
brother had a badge.
We don't need a badge. This is my house. We need to find somebody who works at the docks who can contact them. And I will immediately start doing that, Scott.
Stallbor, there's no airships. You have the highest perception. You see
Well,
many
we're-
ships at the docks down below against the water. Many different types of ships.
So we can catch it by boat.
How high up is the airship from the water?
At the moment, though, obviously depending on
100 feet?
depending on what they're interested in doing and stuff like that. At the moment, because it's just coming off of a sky dock, which is already pretty high up because you're in friggin' Sharn, so you already start high up, a considerable distance. Not a number that you can easily calculate in the darkness. Maybe 1,000 feet. It's hard to tell because again it's coming off of a sky dock in Sharn.
I was gonna say we can take a sea ship and try to catch up with that way. I can do
Then
that.
how do we get on the ship?
Oh, that's fine. We can do that easily. We steal the ship, but we need some way to signal that. Salvor, do you have any spells that can go that high up in the air?
You do
I
realize that
don't exactly specialize in flares.
But
you
do you?
realize if we do any of these tactics that you're mentioning, we are going to look like we're trying to take over the ship, and it's
It's
going to invalidate
fine.
everything that we're trying to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, wait, didn't you say we need to find someone to contact the ship? Let's
90
do that.
Maybe there's a
Yeah, let's
here
just-
or something.
Look, someone that works at the docks.
Indeed,
Yeah,
that is our
use
best
some-
course of action.
I will try that for all of like 5 minutes, Scott. And if I can't find anybody, I'm gonna go try to see if I can borrow someone's ship.
All of 5 minutes is going to be persuasion check with disadvantage.
Just for her or what?
Her.
I guess she's the one who knows what she's doing.
Not bad, Aaron. Not bad at all. So you actually go walking around and you try to find out what's going on. They can tell you who the captain of the ship is, but they don't have a means of getting a hold of them. You have to go through House Civis to be able to make those long distance kind of communications, and that's not easy to get your hands on. It's something that's kind of expensive if you just try to quickly pay for it out of pocket. So I'm
gonna tell them we don't have time. That ship's gonna explode. It has gunpowder or dwarven powder on it. Is there any way I can take a sea ship out there?
There's
catch up to it.
Dwarven powder on the ship?
I'm telling you, somebody snuck dwarven powder on the ship. That ship's gonna blow.
Okay. Then this is obviously something that needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
What's your course of action at this point in time with your 16 persuasion? You've already gone through the pleasantries of, shut the fuck up. Here's my paperwork. Let's do this.
Right.
Okay.
So
So
I need a ship. I can catch up to it by sea. We can set up a flare to let them know, to try to get them to stop.
A ship, definitely. Then let's go and see if we can find you a ship. And he's like, I just need to get down the docks really quickly. And he literally goes and starts like getting the stuff that he needs to start running down the dockside. And then, I imagine you guys like, and then point at your sky cart that you've already paid a bunch of money for. And everybody hops in the sky cart and is like, oh, this is convenient. And you guys get in the sky cart and...
And I'll turn to Reich and I'll say, see, happy? We're not stealing it.
Stealing it was not the problem I had with the plan.
Plan.
The five of you cramped into like a tiny little spot. It's kind of one of those like, oh, hi. Yes, I'm Marith.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Marith.
Stalbor's between me and Reich, just like...
Your hands are cold and clammy.
Listen, there's things we have to consider here. You're throwing all caution to the wind, and that's not the way we need to proceed here. We don't know who this person is on the ship. They could be the captain.
It doesn't matter who's on the ship?
That's not what I said. I said we don't know who the person is on the ship, who this changeling is. The changeling could be anyone.
So
if it is like Captain, the more...
Excuse me. There's a changeling on the ship.
Yes. Listen, if I'm going to have to keep re-explaining everything to you, this is going to take a long time. So just get it from context.
I don't need everything re-explained, but how do you know there's a changeling on the ship?
How do we know? And I turn to Stalbor.
Stalby.
We can't give away the information.
I'd actually say at this point, like, probably to Luke and Kieran, who was saying, it was like, it's probably not a changeling on the ship. The changeling died in the interrogation. No, is it still alive?
No, he didn't get interrogated. He was getting saved by your friend.
He was being saved.
Oh, I thought that was also the guy in the back.
No, he came crashing through a roof.
Oh, then that's fine.
He was being saved before they realized, oh shit, we just saved the changeling.
Guys, probably wasn't one changeling. They snuck the stuff onto a vessel. I pointedly look at the guy that we're just blindly trusting with the information and look back at the party. We can't give away that information.
At this point, Stalbor isn't even listening anyway. He's just sort of stood off a bit and is looking out to the water.
I'm here to work the docks. I don't have clearance, I'm sure.
We just need to get to that ship as soon as possible.
Yes, well, right. Here we go. And like it starts pulling up to yes, that area over there. Will feel free to RP and then I'll take over.
Well, I would just say, Reich, I understand that we don't know who the changeling is, but how do you figure we will decipher that from down here? We can tell the guards, oh, there's a changeling on that ship. How will they figure it out other than boarding and figuring it out?
I think there's two possibilities here. I think, one, there are no changelings on this vessel. The information you were given is not correct, and then we are chasing a fool's errand, and there's probably something more important happening in the city. Or two, we're going to a ship where we have no information, and we're putting ourselves on the ship with explosives on it, and no proof that there's any explosives on it, no proof there's any changelings on there, and no ability to do anything other than look like we are trying to board the ship.
One, I'll rebuttal. I'll say, one, I trust the information that I was given. Two, yes, we will be throwing ourselves into the hands of, and I'll point to Kieran, and I'll say, this is her mission. I promise to help her with that. If I have to risk my life to do so, I will.
If there is even a 1% chance that there's explosives on the ship we owe it to investigate it.
How could we not?
The risk is too great.
I kind of look at Luca for a long moment, and then I nod and I say, I owe you my trust at the very least. Lead on.
Okay. So you guys continue on until finally he brings you to an area where where there's a whole bunch of ships that are there. And so Aaron, he kind of goes off to whoever it is that's in charge of the dock down there, and he's trying to go through the deliberating of what's going on and what ship to take and everything. But could you do me a favor? Could you roll me a vehicles water check, please?
Yeah, get him.
Get him.
I believe I rolled that with advantage. Nope. Nope, only for swimming, apparently. Oh, well.
Only what?
For swimming in stormy water.
Swimming in stormy water.
You actually wouldn't let me take vehicles. Water just in general. It was too broad, which is fair.
Oh, yeah, for a whole advantage thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just thought Scott was evil, so you had to
Okay.
take swimming.
Yeah, it's like, fine, swimming's fucking stormy water. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I foresee
I've
that
seen
being
Thonk
useful.
almost die.
Yeah, right? Huh. Nice.
But I'm also really good at tying knots on boats.
In
Ooh.
reading knots.
By that, what she means is if you guys want to get married, I'm just saying I ship Reich and Luca. You know what I mean? Like Stalbor's the best man, clearly bromance, but I ship Reich and Luca.
We
Yeah.
already know that
absolutely.
Stalbor and Luca have a shared bank account, so I don't know why it would be us getting married.
But
Come on, man.
Stalbor's supposed to die alone. Nobody
No,
wants to see
it's
Stalbor happy.
Stalbor x
Stalbor
Luca.
won't die.
Stalbor x Luca.
Luca will defend Stalbor.
I will be the best man for Luca, and Kieran will be the best man for the best woman for Stalbor.
All I know is that Midori is going to do this art, so you know it's going to happen. It's all over. It's too late. Midori is doing a wedding. Either that or like a what is it? What do you call those? Freeze frame or fuck? I hate when I can't remember nouns. The type of movies that are like picture.
Oh, the
Stop motion?
Stop motion.
motion.
It'd be a stop motion,
Stop
with
motion.
her little chibi dolls.
Oh, jeez.
Aw.
Yeah, it was stop motion, friggin' all voice acted. We'll have to supply the voice acting for the stop motion chibi wedding.
I'm willing to do that.
Oh, bomb thing.
Yeah, but it has to take place on a ship because one, that's where your advantage is, and jellyfish pirate. So moving on, you guys are you're making your 14 vehicles water check, and so what you're doing is as a deliberating back and forth of which ship you can take. More or less, what it comes down to is you can't quite tell this one's faster than that one because your check's not high enough beyond the simple. Well, that one's literally for just bringing supplies as a basic ship. It's shit. This one is a good one. It is a House Larendar made sailing ship, though in the darkness or the amount of time that you have, you can't see the quality difference between all of those. And this one's a water galleon. Those are like the only options that you can perceive.
It can't
with
be
that
the
low of a
galleon
check.
because I have to do everything myself because I don't have a crew to help me. These guys aren't going to be able to do anything.
No,
something small and
but
fast.
one of the things you're going to be able to pick up from their conversation is you are not taking a ship alone. They won't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They won't be taking a ship alone. There will be
Water
people
galleon's
coming
the
with
only
you no
thing
matter
that
what.
can catch them, right?
Water galleon. Let's not let
It
Kieran.
depends.
Please take your headphones off for a second. Water galleon's actually not the fastest ship. The fastest ship belongs to humans. Make them. They're really really good. They're from the Lazar Principalities. So don't let her know, but humans make them. Yeah, water galleons, fastest
Water galleons
ships.
are the best.
Yeah.
those
Not
things are the
necessarily
best.
because they're
Absolutely.
huge.
Just
Oh,
like
I
mage
want-
bred horses are the best.
I still want something small and fast.
Cool.
And is already them elementally bound by any chance?
A water galleon is.
Ah, fuck.
Other ones, if they have elemental binding, it'll be something along the lines of they have minor elemental binding to help them inside like low, shallow areas, so like more areas or whatever. When you would usually have to bust out the, that's the only time. Like so, we're talking auxiliary power ones. Certainly not.
Still gonna go with small and fast.
Sure, absolutely.
Hopefully.
So small and fast it is. You are, make your persuasion check to try to convince them that you want to go with the Lyrandar crafted actual boat.
All right.
On the boat.
Okay, so your persuasion check of 14, you try to weigh in on what you think would be the best option. They actually counter, because 14 is not bad, but they're concerned about this as well, and so they're suggesting it's the water galleon, and so they're kind of like heavily suggesting it one way. You're heavily suggesting it the other way. Give me 1 second so I can.
Okay. I mean, if they think it's elementally bound, so it's probably great.
Yeah, if this was like an argument, I would just be like, no, we just have to go.
Yeah, it's true. We do have to go.
No. I'm just gonna see what their check is on the roll.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just saying, if they seem to be arguing, well, I think this is best, I would just be like, I don't care what's best, let's go.
I accidentally revealed my roll because I had this computer logged into the wrong account, but you can actually see it right there on stream. They rolled a 4. You won the argument. You actually got to take the ship. Actually, I forgot to add my modifier, but that doesn't matter. It's still not going to be high enough. So you actually get to have the ship that you want, a sailing ship.
Okay, cool.
It comes with a small crew, but they don't have. It's a skeleton crew. They don't have everything they need, and so
Yeah, that's fine.
This is like half your crew right here. These.
Great.
ships. So what do we want to do for the whole? How you guys doing this? Like, what's the plan on sailing the ship here?
I'm following Kieran's leading. Like,
Yeah.
this is her domain.
I'm just gonna go as
and
fast as
I'm a
possible.
good soldier.
Try to catch up to it. When I start getting close, I'm gonna start casting spells up into the air to try to cast a signal.
So
That was
sadly,
gonna be weird about it.
sadly, while you are an established person, you don't have all of your like paperwork and everything right here, right now to take the ship, and you certainly don't have the authority to just be like, I demand a ship, and them to listen to you, right? So they had to send things up the channel, and they had to get the appropriate. Go ahead.
So I would say, listen, I have 125 gold on me. You can have it. Like, you can keep it as collateral or just keep it for yourselves. I will bring back the ship. I just need to catch up to them. It's gonna blow out of the sky.
They still, at one point, you're accused for bribery and whatnot, but you obviously tuck your way out of it because I know that that's not what your intention was. You eventually talk your way out of that, but what I'm saying is they still have to find an appropriate captain. And they do. They actually are able to get a captain. They're able to get somebody quick enough to come and help with the sailing of the ship and all that, meaning you're just going to be the first mate. You are not the captain of this ship.
That's fine.
So you guys are heading on your way doing this.
By the way, Scott, I came to Sharn on Lightning Vale. Where is my ship?
Oh, not here. It's probably in Onder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably
Just
after
wondering.
the recent happenings. It's probably currently docked in Stormhome.
That's fair.
Yeah. So you are with them sending the channel and finding all the information that they needed to for you guys to set out that way. They were able to acquire for you the crew that you needed, the skeleton crew that you needed, and an appropriate captain for the ship, giving you just the position of first mate. And also somebody else who's kind of had their ear to the ground, listening for in case anything important happened, decided to come along as well. Luca, it seems as though you needed a little assistance on this one.
Oh, god damn it. I was like, I totally thought you were going to say that was the captain, and I was going to be like, piss off. But just the person with the ear to the ground, just rub it in a little bit, just checking up. I guess Luca would turn to him. Wouldn't even have time to let out a sigh or a face or anything. I guess I would just greet him normally. Probably killing me inside, but I don't have time to think about it. I just say, yes, we need your help.
This is, from what I understood from the word that has come my way, this is the changeling that slipped between your grasp, right? It slipped from your grasp, right?
I was knocked out. Your grasp.
The one that, yes, he ran past us, and you were supposed to catch him, right? That one?
So, Nico, that ship's
look
gonna
at
explode out of the sky, and it gets further away the more we talk. So, you can scold your brother later. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Let's go. He nods
Excellent.
to that and immediately grabs up his stuff and starts heading towards the ship. He wasn't even wearing his armor. He's got it like in a sack, and he's bringing it with him, bringing it onto the ship. Once you guys
Sacco armor.
Sacco armor. It's appropriately wrapped up in the most efficient way of carrying it. It's a potato bag. No, so you guys are making your way towards the ship. Hop on, get everything going, raise anchor, and set sail. Now, you are very fortunate that the captain of this ship happens to have been a decorated captain during the wars. Before. It's another decorated captain, though much, much, much older than Kieran, significantly older, and so received higher honors for their much more cool-headedness, and actually has with them a wonderful magic item. They actually have with them, it's almost like a, sorry, let me start from the beginning. What it looks like is kind of like a, you know the weather socks that you see on top of like, what are they called? The weather socks. You know what I mean? They tell you which way the wind is blowing and how.
Weather vane.
Yeah, but not a metallic one. It's just like a sock material. So it sits on top of the tallest mast of the ship, and it can be activated to somewhat affect the winds to blow more in your favor than otherwise it would. So the wind is going to blow at its own speed. However, sometimes you could be hitting, the wind is going the exact opposite direction of where you want it to. It's literally coming at your head, so you can't go where you need to. This actually will alter the wind slightly, so you always have a favorable wind to one degree or another. It can't make the most favorable wind better, but it can make the worst winds less worse and up. Get what I'm saying? Okay, so they have been gifted with this incredible trophy. And they brought it with them. So the first thing that they did is while Kieran is like all sorts of freaking out, do this, do that, do that, as the first mate, knowing her place because she's a captain, she's familiar with this and whatnot, and is giving orders. And finally, she sees a couple of people that seem to be slacking and it's just like slowly climbing. She's like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "The captain." "What are you doing?" "The captain." And so you finally go and have the words with the captain, and you can say, "Oh no, this is more important. Oh no, this is more important." And I can imagine it's a little bit frustrating for you because usually you have that rank.
Oh, absolutely.
But you usually have that rank. However, you have to get in line. Once you actually do raise anchor and start going, you realize what it was that captain brought. That's when you realize like the gravity of kind of like who you're dealing with is somebody that is of significance too. There wasn't some schlub that was put in charge of the ship for you today. So you guys weigh anchor, set sail, and you're going.
Is he dragon marked?
No.
Okay.
Not dragon marked. Weigh anchor, set sail, and you are making your way south, trying to keep an eye on that ship off in the distance. Sadly, it is not within view of the naked eye. Too much time has passed. But you're still going to get there as quickly as you can. Kieran, could you do me a favor as the first mate of the ship?
Yep.
You're the one that's actually more directly in charge of the goings-ons of the ship than the captain itself. So, could you roll for me your vehicles check?
Absolutely.
Everybody else, before she rolls that.
Yep.
Too late.
Before.
It's a really good
Sorry.
roll.
Sorry.
Everybody else, could you please tell me what it is that you're doing?
I'm literally, so I see that she is kind of fallen behind this captain and is following his direction. So I'm like following his direction or whatever. If she's directing, I'm following whoever's above me that I see her responding to and whatever they say to do. If they're saying do this, that, or the other thing, I'm like, I'll do it to the best of my ability. Yeah, I'm like, oh, we have too much weight, and I just like throw Nico off. Like, no, I'm kidding. But literally, I'm just following to the best of my ability.
Getting in the way, Herd. Next.
Getting in the way, Herd.
I've never been on a ship in my life, so I'm hoping someone gives me orders. I wouldn't be as
You've
proactive
never been on a
as
ship
him.
before? Do me a favor. Could you actually roll for me a Constitution save and an acrobatics check?
You're gonna be sick.
Ooh, you're gonna fall off and throw up.
See about that.
He is a monk.
It's true.
Ooh, that looked like a 1 for a second.
Right? Oh no.
So your stomach is
Not
actually you've got a bit of an iron stomach, and so you can actually stomach the tossing and the turning, and this is uncomfortable, but not unlike sitting on top of a wagon full of men being brought to a battlefield or whatever the case may be. You can handle the discomfort of the swaying constantly, and sometimes it's a lot bigger than it was, and you can handle that. However, you are a very sure-footed person on solid ground. This is throwing you off. There are points in time where you're just stumbling into things or have to grab onto a rope to not fall down. I mean, a 9 is not terrible for a regular acrobatics check, but you're on a boat for the first time. That makes it much more difficult. You are not doing well. Not that you're a threat of like falling over, overboard, but you are not
It's
doing
not
well.
useful.
Yeah.
Upon noticing this, instead of being useless, because I probably realize I'm being useless.
No, your character's not useless, but go ahead.
I would probably help Reich just get some sure foot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Like,
try
I
to
see
get
him
out of the way
falling
and
and
grab something to
grabbing
hold
and all
on to.
that. Yeah, like I'd like grab him like by the shoulder or something and just help him stand steady.
Okay. So you do that. You help him stand steady, trying to keep him as successful as possible. Help him try to find his footing because it's going to be important in a day or so to come. And you do that. Starboy, what are you doing?
Starboy's leaning off the side of the ship. He's not very talkative. If someone tries to talk to him, he says something, elvish and wistful and cryptic, like, "These waters used to hold my fate," and just looks out over the waters, being elvish. Being Stalboys, elvish
Emo.
and sad. Yeah.
I love that you're playing like an ultra elven character in my game, and I'm going to be playing an ultra dwarven character in your game. It just makes me so happy. Because like I can grow a beard.
The
and you
shipping
can't,
is
so
perfect.
it's almost like we're playing.
It's
appropriate
well,
race,
yeah.
Yeah, you get the long hair, So we are. I said he was elven. That's a compliment.
It's right. No, I'm not.
I'm not
even
laughing
It's
at
true.
that. I'm laughing at something unrelated completely.
Moving on. So you guys are making your way with that vehicles check of 20. That's amazing. You guys are actually making really good time. Noticing that these winds are working in your favor. This is something that you've never experienced before. Not favorable winds, but that they're always in your favor. This is incredible. And so you're using this to the best of your ability. You're savoring it. It's like somebody who's like used it for so long. Like, okay, yeah, I know how to use this thing. It's cool. Like this is brand new to you. And so you're testing its limits and you're succeeding very well, making great time getting there. Sadly, your friends, one of them, or companions, one of them was kind of helpful for a little while, but then the other two were just so not that he had to go off and kind of help one of them. But you know what? They're not in the way, which leads us to Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nico is an incredible assistant. Are you kidding me? When you
Aw.
start giving like commands to do this, that, and the other thing, he's just kind of like, yes, ma'am. And he immediately goes over and like ties that rope over there and sets the mast up here and whatnot, throws the thing over. And actually at some point in time when there's like a bit of a lull, he'll kind of come over and while he's like doing something, you're standing nearby, maybe like looking through a spyglass or checking like something to make sure things are going well. He'll be like, it's been a while. Kind of reminds me of the battle of, and he like says something that happened during the war. And it's actually kind of funny because during that battle, you were somewhat in the services of the other side of that battle. And so you actually remember that battle, though you wouldn't necessarily know the exact ship each other was on, but he was servicing this side, paid by his house being paid, and you were servicing this side, house being paid. And you guys kind of like have this really cool moment where you're talking about like perspectives from either side, and you're kind of like, oh my god, this commander of theirs is like freaking out. He couldn't hold this shit together, and he's like, oh really? My guy he was cocky. He just thought he owned it, and honestly, the reason why he did as poorly as he did is because he thought he had things. And you're like, well, the only reason why my guy survived is because I took over, and blah blah blah.
Awesome.
Don't make this a budding relationship, Scott.
Whoa,
I'm not liking this, okay?
whoa, whoa.
Come on.
She just lost her fiance. Nico has class, unlike her brother who thinks things like that. All right, moving on. So you
Relationship doesn't have to mean sexual or anything like that. Come
Nico
on.
and Kieran sitting in a tree.
Yeah, if only it wasn't, terrible, terrible taboo in Eberron. But whatever.
Terribly taboo.
Well, neither of you are marked, so who would know? Moving on.
Nico
So,
might as well be marked.
So you guys are making your way, making good time. Could you roll for me your second day? Your vehicles check, please, Iran.
Oh, I guess I would try to be getting what's it called? Attuned to this new
Second
item I have.
day?
Yes, Eric. Their days pass.
We're on a ship.
We're trying to
Ugh.
catch an
Eric's so mad. The ship hasn't blown up yet.
So at the end of your,
It's not gonna blow up until it reaches. Is it going to storm home? Or sorry, storm reach? Would I be able to discern that? That's my guess.
yes, that is what that is what you're expecting. As a matter of fact, the captain that was brought to the ship found out that information before they got here, that this ship is actually going for a sightseeing on the through Stormreach.
Okay.
So they go in there so the honey nobles can go and see the wonderful delights of the exotic lands to the south. So as you guys are making, again, good time, not as great as last time, but good time, you come to realize you still can't see the ship. You still can't see it. And so at one point in time, kind of like the captain's gone for a couple of hours as you're making good headway. And you know what you're getting close to. And the captain hasn't been seen for a while. So eventually you kind of go find your way to the captain and be like, what the what? And when you finally go check out the captain's quarters, you can see that he is actually in there with maps open, looking things over. And you can see he's literally sitting there and just looks completely lost and perplexed. He doesn't know what his next, what he should be doing. And so his worries that he sees are the exact ones that your character was thinking. And that's the airship can travel straight to a degree, but at certain points it's dangerous for it to do so, and so it has to like go this way and that way, and maybe it's hopefully traveling slower so they can take in the sights. But there's one region that's dangerous, by air and sea, and that's the Sahagin Pass. And so the options are, we can try to go all the way around the Sahagin Pass, but that is a very slow route, whereas they only have to go partially around the Sahagin Pass for it to be safe. Or you can try to go straight through it and make up so much lost time. And he's literally been here for the past couple of hours trying to weigh his options.
I'm going to try to push him to go for it.
So one of the things that he says, so as you go over there and you before you, you're already thinking this because you just came to that conclusion. But before you actually even say that, you can see that he's not a foolish man. He has open books and whatnot next to him and just kind of walking by and taking a cursory glance at them. You can see that these are actually logs, copied logs from other captains' logs of experiences at the Sahagin Pass. And so now he's there, he's in a slump. When you walked into the room, he didn't even acknowledge you. He's got a half-empty bottle of rum sitting next to him, and his glass is not looking very full. And he hasn't even acknowledged the fact that you've walked into the room yet. You've come to this conclusion, seeing this information. How do you approach it? Go.
I will come up and I will take a swig of his rum and sit down next to him.
Bottle or glass?
Bottle.
Okay.
And I will just say, if we don't catch up to the ship, everyone on the ship is going to die. And we don't even know if it's going to happen after it lands. We don't know the casualties there. We have to risk going through the Sahagin Pass.
But not even all the crew on the ship can sail right. What if we lost? What if we lost one crew? Who's going to take their place? One of your friends is trying not to vomit down below, and another one's just been pairing off into the night.
We won't lose anyone. We'll be careful. I mean, if it comes to fighting on board ship, my friend might not be good at sailing, but he's great at fighting.
There is an option. Have you ever traversed the Sahagin Pass before?
Have I, Scott?
Probably not. No. You're more way north and way east of here usually.
I was born in Zendrick. I was born in Stormreach.
No. Yeah. I know you had said that, but that's not where your background is, right?
No, it's not.
Not your captaining background. Your childhood background, absolutely.
So yeah, not as an adult.
Okay. Well, you can parlay with the Sahagin if you can make them an offer, pay proper respects. You can get through there. You can get through there safe. If I always do. I actually have a rapport with them. If I knew this is what we were doing and I had enough time to plan, I would have brought an appropriate gift. But instead, I don't have one. And this is where we are. I can either offer them something, which I don't have, or I can burn my bridges and use my knowledge to get through.
forgot what would be an appropriate gift for Sahagin and Eberron. They're worshippers of the Devourer. Would it be like human sacrifice?
I mean, not necessarily the devout. No, not necessarily something like that. Like usually things
Yeah.
more materialistic, things that make the
Okay.
the chief feel like big and powerful. So, Sahagin, I don't mean. Oh God, I do not mean to insult Sahagin by any means. But for the most simplistic of terms, for dealing with the Sahagin past, almost think like the Gungans and the whole give them something shiny and they'll leave you alone.
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
what
we
I mean?
hope
So
he
jump in
owns
Star Wars. Give them something shiny and they'll leave you alone, sort of bit. But again, Sahagin are way more sophisticated and amazing than that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to offend any of our Sahagin fans. So
Okay.
any of you guys who are Sahagin Kin or anything
Well,
like
no,
that,
I personally, I love the Sahagin race. I love them. You guys know
Yeah,
how
they're-
often I use them in campaigns. They're wicked cool. So, but anyway, so you.
Okay. I have an idea. Let me discuss with my companions that I brought with me. And see what we have.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, I have spell components that are quite valuable and shiny.
So you go and speak with your companion. He's like, well, you do that, and in the meanwhile, I suppose
Mhm.
I'll be plotting my course. Over the years I've put together a map that might suffice if they haven't moved the stones again.
I nod, and then I'll take another sip of the rum and then depart.
Okay, and you go and you find your friends.
Yep.
Reich, roll me another Constitution save and acrobatics check. Both those DCs are worse because it's your first time on a boat. Okay, you still. Oh my God, your sea legs are killing you. Your knees, your hips, they're aching. Your knees and hips cannot handle this kind of wear and tear that you're dealing with. Your muscles are all like standing up and sitting down because of how much your muscles have had to compensate for the lack of like skill here. You're just always in pain. You really need to stretch, but every time you try to, you end up eating it, like bashing your head on something or falling over that way or whatever. You have no balance here. It's really bad. It's not even bad to the point of embarrassing. It's bad to the point of just pathetic. You know what I mean? And I know Reich is like a very militaristic person, so it's not like people are snickering in the corner and pointing at him. It's almost like a whoa, poor guy. Like he's
I'm also
Is
very
it-
prideful, which
No, no,
means my character's been on edge this whole time. Just very.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just saying that he's just been very frustrated and snaps quickly at anyone who tries to like offer too much aid.
So a lot of the people there, some actually would offer aid because these are sailors, and so while it's funny to snicker at somebody who's struggling a little bit, to this degree of failure, it's one of those things where they're just like, oh, he's having a bad go of it. You know what I mean? Like it's just, oh, that's a rough one. So the first time somebody gets drunk, they're just, it's really bad experience. You don't really laugh at that. You're just kind of like, ooh, sorry, man. You know, I wish this was easier for you. So, so they're kind of giving you your berth if that's what you want. Either way, so you're kind of like below deck or whatever, and Luke has been around trying to help you out, but I imagine you don't want that help anymore, and he's just annoying you.
If he tried to make it like obvious at all that he doesn't want help, I would stop helping him. I would understand his pride.
Cool. So you do that, and Kieran, you can easily grab Stalper's attention and head below
Yeah.
deck with him.
Yeah, I will. Listen, we are going to have to pass a very dangerous area full of very dangerous creatures, we'll say. But they can be bartered with. We need an offering. I can give them this, and I'll yank off the pendant I'm wearing, which is actually like this giant. It's actually like a giant pearl. And I can say I can give them this, and that might suffice. However, it's my arcane focus. Do you have another one on you I could borrow, or any components? Because I will be useless without it.
I have components. Your magic is incomparable to mine.
Orb, staff, like, just need something to channel it forward.
I can't help you. I could give you something you might be able to channel your power into, but
We can try that, just in case.
I have
can
a
also.
glaive.
You have a glaive?
Yes.
I would give her the House Orion signet ring.
I don't know if that would mean anything to him.
No, I mean, channel
shiny.
your power into it. Maybe if you.
Scott,
I don't know how this works.
Kieran will examine this. Will this suffice as an arcane focus? I don't think so.
It will not.
He doesn't know how this
So
works.
I'll kind of like hold it up and I'll look at it and I'll
Because
shake my head.
Stellar
It's
just
like,
uses components, right?
yeah.
And spellbook.
Yep.
So I will try to like channel magic into it, and I just shake my head. It's like, sorry, that won't work.
My ways are unlike yours.
I wish I could even explain it to you, but I can't. It's just some things work and some things don't.
Yeah,
Could we-
I've
wait,
been
so-
around long enough to know that.
Could we just fight them?
That would be very dangerous. We don't have a very strong crew right now. We can't afford to lose even a single person, or we won't be able to run the ship.
Ah, understood. Diplomacy is probably our best bet.
I look at the glaive. Is it nice?
It's very nice.
It's
I'll-
very nice.
I'll look at Stalbor and say, I mean,
The
that dagger.
The dagger would be worth more than the glaive. It's got powerful magic in it. Like I would take it out. It's probably got.
Mhm.
If it didn't come, it probably didn't come with a sheath.
It did
I would-
actually. She's
Oh,
part of
then,
it.
Yeah.
then definitely.
It was like super
Uh,
ornate, yeah.
I would show it. I would hold it around enough to crackle electricity off it.
Hmm.
It's showy. It's powerful. What are these things? Tuna, aggressive tuna.
Yes, aggressive tuna. They're called Sahagin.
Tuna.
Are you familiar with them? Do you have them?
Am I
Closer to R
familiar
now?
with Shahagan?
Probably not. You didn't spend a lot of time on the seas.
Ooh, actually, I would barely know the name. Yeah.
You would?
Reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, that's right. You've heard complaints about Sahagin before.
I've heard complaints about Sahagan before.
Yep. Okay.
But now I'm sort of piecing it together.
Mhm.
I'm willing to part with it if this would be a good enough gift. I don't know if angry tuna men would like a dagger. It's a nice
Angry
dagger. It's a
tuna men.
very nice dagger.
Scott, which gift would be more appropriate? Do I think? Can I go wrong?
Probably a dagger over a glaive. A glaive is a big slashing
Well, the-
weapon for underwater.
Over her focus.
Oh no. Okay. Whoa. I wasn't thinking that was gonna be a gift. I was giving you a temporary use item to use. You
Oh.
were not
Oh,
giving away my
no.
fucking glaive.
No. I put it back
That
in
is
your
a
hand.
family heirloom.
I have a beautiful weaponry myself. Like you know, like Kieran actually is decked out with weapons, and you've never seen her use them. She has this
Yeah, she's just
beautiful
carrying them around.
Yeah,
You
she
were
has this
asking-
beautiful Valinor scimitar. She has daggers on her. Like
I was
they're
gonna give you
nice
something to
quality.
work with. You were asking for something to channel your magic through. I figured my glaive might help.
oh
This-
no, definitely not. But thank you.
I guess then we give them the dagger.
Okay.
Sorry,
I
yeah,
will
this-
nod in thanks and say I will.
I'll
repay
just
you for
hand it
this.
to Kieran because she'll probably be doing more of the talking.
I'm gonna say though, but if the situation seems in our favor, perhaps we don't give them anything. I understand you don't want to fight, but
Luca,
if we have numbers,
that won't be your decision to make, and honestly, it wouldn't even be mine. This is not our ship. This is not our crew.
no, I agree. I'm just saying we should just keep that in mind.
Listen, you never have somebody back down from a fight. But we literally can't lose a single person on the ship, and not all of them are great fighters.
Well,
It's
in the
best to
event
go
of a
into
fight-
this with an offering.
We have the offering.
Okay.
I'm just
and there's
suggesting
no way.
that.
And there's no way around this. There's no alternative path.
What's this meeting going on down here? Says Nico as he walks in.
I'll fill in, Nico.
Mhm.
Just general overview. Like, listen, like this is what's gonna happen.
There's
We
a
have
hug and
to make
pass
this
again. Yes, I understand. So you give him the quick fill in. Yes, I understand. I've always wondered why it wasn't that nobody's just hired a group of some real Deneth soldiers to go in there and just solve the problem once and for all. But everybody seems to shirk around to final solution and just try to go what they feel as though cheaper in the moment as opposed to.
Upon saying that, I'm gonna say, why should they need to hire us? Why can't we just go solve the problem?
Oh.
And also, extinguishing an entire race would destroy the ecosystem of the entire ocean.
Not
Most
an
of the
entire-
world lives off the ocean.
Nobody.
Not an
says
entire
this.
race.
Yeah.
Not all of Sahagin.
Just the kingdom.
But perhaps another time.
And so, anyways, reacting to what Luca had asked, why should they hire us?
Yeah.
Because we have a skill, and a wise man. If a wise man can get paid for his skill, why would he choose otherwise?
For the greater good.
Certainly, which is why we use our skills with our wisdom to make sure that we only service those that are worthy of serving. You can always say no to any contract.
I just let out a big sigh. It's not always about the money.
You're right. But you know what it is about? Family.
I agree with that.
Stalball hands Kieran the dagger and goes back onto the deck to look out.
I would follow
I'm gonna go
Stalball.
speak with-
Conversation.
I'm gonna go speak to the captain again.
Okay.
Although I like where your mind is, Nico, but perhaps not when there's a ship about to explode in a densely populated area.
That was obviously a terrible time. I'm saying if an opportunity was taken prior to now, we wouldn't be dealing with it as it is. Sometime in the future, our house and yours should speak.
I agree.
And then he looks at his brother as she walks away and says, perhaps a bit of charity for the realms. And so you go to speak with the captain, and you go walking in, and maybe some stuff has moved on the desk. Maybe.
Yeah.
But he's still sitting there.
So, I will lay down the Sibir Shard dagger. I have our offering.
After a couple moments after you see after where I have our offering, his eyes slowly move over to the dagger, and then a couple moments after that, he comes to realize what's there, and he actually piques his interest. His expression slowly changes, and then he actually sits up and reaches over and grabs the thing, and he holds it up, and he's like, "Well, isn't this a fine dagger? It's a gnomish dagger."
Yes, it was given to my companions as a gift.
Huh. This is
For
a beautiful
services
thing.
rendered.
I'm just seeing it for the first time, and I'm finding it hard to want to part with it. I'm certain that he would love it. And so he takes the thing and he pulls it out of the sheath because the sheath is beautiful. And as soon as he does so, there's slight little sparks that happen as he does it, and the gem in the pommel starts to hum and light up ever so slightly, and then kind of dulls back down and gets quiet again. And he realizes that he's like, oh, this is not just gnomish in craft. This is from the binders.
Yes, it's an elementally bound shard, as far as I know.
This is valuable indeed. Yeah. This would do it. This is amazing. I was afraid that the stone singers were going to be moving the rocks, and that any path that I knew for us to take to get through there was going to be a dead end, and we were all going to be found corpses washed on the shore. But this certainly changes things. And with that, he fully stands up and stretches for a half moment, and he seems to have all of his vigor back in him, even though he's an old man and a bit worn, more than a bit worn. He seems to have the vigor back in his bones that he had several hours prior before him disappearing there. And he's like, "Yes, all right. What are you doing standing here? Get the men ready. We have a lot of work to do. We have to make sure that that side."
That side?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so bad with all nouns today. That side of the ship, which, oh god,
Yeah,
I don't know what is the matter with me saying nouns.
It's fine. That side of the ship.
That side of the ship is nice and clean and ready to present. We have to make sure that everything is good to go. Tell my men. He points at, he says, go tell Topher. Yes, he's the one with the all the teeth missing on the right side of his face. You go and you tell him to get the dressings to make sure the ship looks great. He'll take care of it. And so he kind of goes out there and just starts doing his own barking orders in a somewhat calm way, not as you are, and gets the ship ready so that side of the ship actually does look different now. There are bits of barnacle that he has put on the side of it, and it gets it dressed up in a way that it seems more sea friendly, I suppose. So as he gets this thing all dressed up to impress their chieftain, they get ready and they go sailing into the actual Sahagin Pass. So as they make their way into the Sahagan Pass, you guys are finally come to a stop as you start to see like heads popping up around the ship in the water. The men that are calling it out, they're like, "Oh, we got another one off the bow of the ship, and yeah, there's another one over there too. Oh, I see 7 sharks. They're starting to swirl. Yeah, they're staying pretty deep down. Like they're keeping quiet and spreading the word that you guys are effectively becoming surrounded by these Sahagan, little bits at a time. And then as you're like really getting into the rocky areas and really have to navigate, finally you start having enough gall to not just be like sneakily trying to swim alongside of the ship and underneath it and stuff like that, and maybe even holding on to it. They're starting to stand on top of the actual rocks and reef that are over there so that you can see them standing waist deep in the water on top of a reef or atop of the rocks themselves. And they're standing proud and tall and don't seem to be afraid of anything should somebody knock an arrow or prepare a spell. Don't seem to be afraid of anything. And here we are with you guys sailing in when finally the captain sees off in the distance. He's like, "Yep, there he is right there. All right, pull up on the shore over here, and you know what to do. Lower the flag, 3 quarts," and starts making his way over to where it is. He holds his hand out for Aaron to hand him the dagger, assuming you took it back. Yeah, you do so, and then he goes off to have the meeting with the chieftain. When the ship comes to a stop, the chieftain makes his way over by standing at the edge of a rock where he's supposed to, and one of a very like wearing tons of sea garb, like seaweed hanging from him and shells all over, or her. It's kind of hard to tell with Sahagan. With these creatures that are scaly and aqua, bluish and greenish in color, stands there and starts doing these strange chantings and holding up like a large seashell and shaking it, and it sounds like there's something rattling around inside there. Eventually, the water itself over in front of the ship rises up, stops, and then starts to elongate and makes almost a bridge between where it is that the chieftain is standing and where it is that usually a plank or something like that would be put for somebody to walk off and on the ship. And then the top layer of that bridge of water, it seems like salt is gathering up there. At first you don't realize what it is, just like the water's getting dirty. Then you realize the water's not getting dirty, it's actually getting whiter and whiter and whiter as sea salt just completely lines the top of it, making a hardened bridge for the chieftain to walk on. And so he does. He walks about 3/4 the way, a little bit more, across the bridge to meet up with the captain of the ship itself. The captain of the ship gets up there and goes and stands in front of him. Now, none of you guys speak Sahagan, so you can't understand the conversation that happens back and forth. But one of the things that you do notice is that straight-backed, proud, and unforgiving is how this captain deals with the chieftain of the Sahagan. He's not kind. He's not apologetic. At one point in time, you actually see him like making a pretty angry face and grabbing for his sword, and then the chieftain just completely ignores it. Like it's almost like the captain's bluffing, and the chieftain thinks it's just an impertinent child to be ignored. Like that's kind of like what you're getting from the two of them. But after they're done doing whatever political song and dance it is that they're doing, the captain just kind of seems unamused with the fact that he has to hand over this dagger, and he gives it to him almost in like a "yeah, whatever, take it if you have to" sort of like expression to him. The chieftain takes the thing and genuinely seems impressed by it. He genuinely seems impressed. Again, facial features are hard to read up until this point, but this one you definitely can read because of how much expression happened across there, and the fact that it even gives a half look back towards the shaman or whatever that person is, and semi-presenting it in like a half look back towards them. After that, things kind of button up rather quickly. Ending with the chieftain himself reaching down into the water, the salt kind of parting where his hand is, and pulling up a live fish that must have been swimming through the bridge or whatever the case may be, grabbing a live fish and biting its head off of the live fish and handing it to the captain. The captain then takes the fish and buries his face into it while the tail is still flapping and like it's kind of oozing a bit. Buries his face into it and takes like a nice big bite of the meat that's on the inside with the fish guts and blood running down of his face, and he chews and swallows, the two of them never breaking eye contact. And then still with the fish in the hand, as to not waste it, the captain gives almost like a half head nod and then turns around and gets back onto the ship. The chieftain, once the captain's back on the ship and the chieftain kind of like looks over everybody like unamused at the fact that they're still there, almost like it's a lot of hassle or work for him to do. He turns back around and walks across the bridge and onto the rock that's on the other side. The salt starts to collapse at the same time as the water, making like a heavy kerplunk and splashing in like a rainfall into the water below. And the ship finally starts to take away. The crew not taking any orders. Nobody's saying anything. The crew just kind of goes about their business, making the ship slowly move their way through. As they're moving their way through, one of the things that you guys notice, if your perception check's high enough, feel free to roll just so I can tell you whether or not your character sees it. But I imagine at least one of you will. One of the things that you notice is that if you're kind of like looking ahead and perceptive and notice things that are happening, waiting for one more because those are all shit. I got 10, an 8, and 9. And we're waiting on Eric. Nope. Okay, never mind. You guys don't notice anything.
Nope.
You sail through the rest of the way slowly, but seemingly no problems whatsoever. Your roll is too low to really see what's happening over there. That's really funny rolls. And you come out the other side of the rocks, and immediately when you do so, kicking up the winds and going as fast as you can. At the end of this day's travel, guess what you see off in the distance, but not ahead of you, actually somewhat behind you, but at an angle off to the side, cutting back in from the, where were they? From the west, which is where they had to kind of go around, skirt around the west-hand side. Cutting back in from the north and the west of where you are, your path soon to cross to some degree or another. Of course, you have to plot it and make it intentional. But there it is, the Dragon's Tooth. It's right there, coming your way. So with that, why don't we actually...
That was being super weird.
Why don't we actually make our way around to taking a break so you can like pee or something like that, and
Yeah.
we'll
I
come
can't
back
pee.
shortly.
There's so much drama.
But I just grabbed this bowl of watermelon.
That is a
Can I have
problem.
some?
That will still be here after the break, dude.
Can I have...
No, it
Does it
won't.
go away?
No, it won't.
All right. So, anyways, we will be back very shortly to see how this goes. Stick around. Bye.